Today. My name's Adam Yamashita. I hope you guys have had a chance to watch some of our videos. If not, I'm glad this is your first one. Basically, what Get Fishing series is about getting people out that don't normally fish and don't normally know what to do when they go out. I know it can be overwhelming when you guys walk into a tackle shop, or Bass Pro, or even Walmart, not knowing what to buy, not knowing what works. So basically right now I'm going to teach you three very basic setups, very easy to use, very easy to learn, and basically it'll get you out there, it'll get you catching fish, and it'll work great for you and trying to get you guys out there getting started. First thing you got to start with obviously is a rod and reel. Easiest way to start off, I always recommend 8 to 10 pound test. What that is, that's how thick the line is and how strong the line is. When you go, there's 100,000 rods out there. Basically, the one thing you want to look at is on every single rod, right above the reel, is the rod specifications. It'll say ML for medium, medium light, light, ultralight, heavy. Basically, what you want to start off with is a medium or medium light. It'll tell you the line class, usually like 6 to 12 pound test, with a little cheapy spinning reel. This whole setup, maybe 40 bucks on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. You can buy different combos. But this is a good way to start. It'll get you started on most freshwater lakes, most setups, and definitely get you started in the bay as well. Okay, so first thing I'm going to teach you is how to tie just a basic fishing knot. Really easy, very easy to learn. If you can tie your shoes, you can tie this knot. This is called a Palomar knot. So the first thing you want to do is this is called a swim bait head. Has a little eye, hooks out, everything has a little eye on there. What you want to do is just put your line right through the eye of the hook. Okay, take it and put it right back through the other way. So that way it goes through the eye of the hook twice. Okay. And if you notice, what you have here is now you have a loop on one end and your line double up on the other side. And basically now all you're going to do is take that loop and do a little overhand knot, just like that. Okay. And just before you pull it tight, you just want to put the jig right through that loop and then pull both ends, and there's your knot. And then you have this little tag right here. Just go and take your pliers or your scissors or even nail clippers work and just go and cut that tag end off. And there's your jig. And as you can tell, this is a little piece of metal. This isn't going to catch fish by itself. So what this is this is the first setup I'm going to teach you, is basically a 3-inch swim bait. This works in freshwater. This works in the bays. This works offshore. It works great. So the easiest way, if you just want to go out there and catch a lot of fish, is you want to start off with a 3-inch swim bait. This is the go-to, especially in the bays, especially in the ocean. You're going to catch a lot of fish this way. There's 1,000 different kinds of swim baits, and once again, it can be overwhelming, but calm down. I'm going to kind of teach you the basics here. Basically, the color swim bait you want to use is totally based on the conditions. So basically, you look in the water, whatever it looks like, that's when you're going to go to. If you're going to go out fish at night, or in the dark, or late evening, or super early morning, make sure you go with a darker color. Because what happens is when there's very little light, whether it's from a dock, the moon, stars, whatever, this is any light that comes down it's gonna create a silhouette. So the only thing they're gonna see is this dark body. So this is actually gonna stand out better than a bright color at night because there's no sunlight to shine off those bright colors and make it reflect off. So dark colors at night. If the water's really dirty, really murky, really sandy, you can tell it kind of looks like chocolate milk sometimes. It can get that bad. That's when you want to go with a bright color because there is still light and it's going to reflect off these bright colors and you're able to see a lot better, and that's what's going to get you bit. Say like now, it's the middle of summer, it's beautiful out, sunny blue sky days, the water's nice and clear. That's when you want to go with a natural color, something you see in the water, so like a bait fish or like a crab. So usually my two go-tos is like anything with a white belly usually works. Anything with a white belly because it represents a bait fish, whether it's a smelt, an anchovy, a sardine, any kind of bait fish that they're feeding on, a white belly is going to work, and some kind of dark bag, blue, whatever you like, whatever you think is prettiest, whatever your preference is, it works great. The other color I really like to use, especially when I'm pitching docks or fishing in the kelp, is reds. Reds and browns are great colors too because these fish are eating lobster, they're eating crab, they're eating a lot of those crustaceans out there that have red, and it works great, especially when the fish are getting a little more finicky. These colors work great. So to show you how to thread a swim bait, it's really easy. So the first thing you want to do is take your swim bait head and put it right along the side of your swim bait, just like that. Okay? And the reason you do this is that it's going to show where the hook's supposed to come out of your swim bait when you thread it on. Okay? So usually when I do that, I leave a nice little mark right there just with the tip of the hook. That way you know where it's supposed to come out. Take the hook and you just want to thread the bait right on. and have the hook come out right at that spot you marked, and go and slide it on. Try to keep it as straight as possible, because the straighter your bait is, the better it's going to swim, the more bites you're going to get, just like that. Okay, and there's two different kinds of swim bait heads. Okay, so there's this kind. This is a really basic kind. This is just a regular swim bait head. As you can tell, the hook's exposed. So this works great for pitching around docks, fishing open water, making long casts, fishing the surface. It works great. But sometimes if you're going to fish like Mission Bay, you're going to fish the rocks, you're going to fish, the rock wall at Long Beach, this isn't the best one to go to. This is going to get caught up on the kelp. This is going to get caught up on rocks. A lot of breakoffs, a lot of retying, a lot of headaches. So basically what you can do is there's another kind of swim bait head. It's called a weedless swim bait head. This is a 1/2 ounce. Basically all it does is have this little plastic guard right here, and all this does is it helps protect the hook from getting kelp and stuff on it. And a lot of people ask me, oh, well, can't the fish, isn't going to pop the fish? Well, what happens is these fish have a lot of bite power. So what happens, they're going to push down on that hook, and that hook's going to catch them right in the corner of the mouth every single time. It works great. So like I said, just make sure you read the conditions. Those are the basic ones to read. Okay. The next one I'm going to show you is a go-to for most bass guys, for whether you're fishing freshwater, saltwater, whatever it is. It's a great go-to. It's very easy to set up, and it looks great. It works great in kelp. It works great off the kelp. It works great fishing over grass. It works really, really well. It's a very finesse technique, so when the fish are really finicky, it works great. So this right here is a size 2 hook. Just a regular octopus hook, really easy, really basic, and you can buy these anywhere. Size 2 to size 4 is a great go-to, depending on what size of the bait you're using. So you want to tie this the exact same way I just showed, with a Palomar knot. But there's one major difference you want to do when you're tying this knot, okay? You want to have your tag end a little bit longer. You want to have your tag end longer on this one. And I'll show you why here in a second. So tie your Palomar knot, just like you did with the swim bait head. Okay. And sometimes when you tie a hook, when you tie this knot, the hook will kind of sit a little weird. Sometimes it'll sit a little different directions. So to prevent that, you want to take your tag end. This is very top secret stuff here, right here. So you want to have your hook sitting up like this. Take your tag end and put it right through the eye again, going down, just like that. When you do that and your line goes tight, your hook's going to sit up every single time. So that way when a fish comes and bites it and you set the hook, it's going to catch them right on the top of the lip every single time. It works great. You're going to miss a lot less fish this way. So now you got your long tag end. You're going to take it's called a drop shot weight. Okay? Fishing the bays, if you're going to fish deep, I like the 1/2 ounce, fishing like 30 to 20 feet. A 1/4 ounce if you're going to fish less than 20 feet. Basically because you don't want to go too much weight because the fish are going to feel it and you're going to feel your bait a little better. My rule of thumb is if you can't feel the bottom, you're not going to feel your bites because the fish are going to want it sitting, the fish want to make it look natural. So you tie this at the very bottom. Okay. Okay. There's your setup right there. And people always ask me, well, how long do you know how to leave it? It depends on the fishing conditions. Sometimes the fish like this with a super long line before the weight, way above the bottom. Sometimes they don't. If you're going to fish weeds, you're going to fish the kelp, and you want your bait sitting above the weeds, a little bit longer sometimes helps. If you're fishing open water, sometimes they want it sitting right on the bottom. And if you have to worry about just bouncing it over rocks and they want it rolling, a little shorter, that's just where you trial and error. You try it, see what you like the best, and see what works where you're fishing. Great setup. Usually the great things and the great thing about this is you can do it with live bait, you can do it with cut bait. So like cut pieces of squid strips work great, especially when you're first starting out. It catches almost everything in the bay. You're going to catch little rays, you're going to catch perch, you're going to catch croaker, some spotted bay bass, a lot of the different species we have. If you don't want to mess with bait, you're not sure what to buy, a great way to go is gulp shrimp. They're already scented, they look pretty natural, and they work great. And you can cast them out, leave them, you can work them, you can do whatever you want with them, depending on how you like to fish. This is how they look. I don't know about you, but if I was a fish, I would eat that. My favorite color is New Penny because it just looks like a natural shrimp color. There's plenty of other colors too. The best way to do this is just hook them right through the nose, right there. Just hook it right through the nose, just like that. Just like that, so it's exposed on the hook, and it's just going to float around out there naturally. It's going to look great. Okay, so that's a drop shot setup. Works great, catches fish, sand bass, you can fish it shallow, deep, you can cast it out, leave it. Great setup. It works for bass too. You can use robo worms and stuff like that on it too. This next setup is an absolute go-to. This is the easiest setup of the three. It works great everywhere. It works in the bay. It works for striper. It works for catfish. It works for everything. Mainly this setup is going to be for bait, whether you're going to fish live bait, cut bait, whatever. This is the easiest way to go, in my opinion. What this does, if you're fishing deep, like Silverwood, or like watch some of our videos, we're fishing with my nephew at Lake Skinner. We're fishing in 70 feet of water. This may not seem like it fits best, but when you're fishing deep, and especially when you're anchored up, these fish like this nice, slow sink, and it looks really natural. So what you're going to do is you're going to tie your size 2 hook right to the end of the line. However knot, like I said, whatever knot you're used to, you can do the Palomar knot, whatever you want. It's really, really easy. You can do this for trout. The only difference is you're just going to change the hook or change your bait, whatever you're fishing for. And that's where you really want to read what kind of fish you're fishing for, because then your bait's going to change and what the preference is. Okay. So, this is just a hook sitting on. So, when you have the fly line, that's just basic, just your hook sitting on there. But if you're going to fish from shore, if you're fishing little duck ponds, if you're fishing Lake Skinner, Lake Silverwood, Diamond Valley, this is a great setup. The only difference you're going to do between this and this is you're going to take what's called a split shot. And the size of your split shot is going to be based on how deep you're fishing and how much current there is. When I fish striper, I'm fishing every single kind of split shot, because sometimes they like it sinking fast, sitting on the bottom. Sometimes they like a super, super slow sink, and a lot of times they'll bite it on the sink. That's where you just leave your bail flipped over on your spinning reel and just wait for it to see it rip off. Okay. And split shots, you don't need anything fancy. All it is a little piece of lead that looks like Pac-Man. So if you look at it, just like Pac-Man. Nice little mouth on there. So what you're going to do is usually want to go up about a foot, foot and a half. Okay. And all you're going to do is put it on the line, just like so. Put the line inside the little mouth of the split shot. Take your pliers and pinch down on that mouth. Just like so. Pinch it with your pliers. Just like that. So what's going to happen is this bait's going to slink nice and slow all the way down. And then even when it hits the bottom, this weight's going to sit there, and this bait's going to have a chance to flow in the current, flow in whatever there is around there. So that way if striper come through, it's going to look very natural. Catfish, going to come see it sitting on the bottom, it's going to come suck it up. And same with a perch or anything like that. They're going to see this bait, and then what happens is too, is sometimes this bait's going to sit like this. So when they come and grab it, there's going to be no pressure on that fish. So it's going to feel natural until like this. And then by that time, you're going to feel the bite, and then you're going to set the hook, and you're going to catch your fish. Great setup. This is a go-to. If you don't know what you're doing, if you want to fish your trout, just cast it out with a piece of power bait, with a night crawler, with a cut of anchovy. This works great. It works everywhere. It's a very easy, very simple setup. And you only have to buy split shots and hooks. This will cost you maybe $3 for a whole pack of split shots and a whole pack of hooks that'll last you 2 or 3 trips. It works great. This is the one you want to take your grandkids out. You want to go trout fishing, you want to go bluegill fishing. The only difference is you just change the hook based on the size of your bait. A lot of people say, oh, that's a big fish, you need bigger hooks. Sometimes that's true, but unless you're fishing for yellowtail tuna offshore, you always want to use the hook to base your bait. A lot of guys want to go big. Don't go too big, because then it's not going to look natural. Night crawlers, anchovies, this is where you want to go. Cut anchovies a size 2. This will cover you all the way through the bays. This will cover you through This will cover you through almost every kind of a local fishing you do, especially your first couple trips. Great way to go. If you guys have any more questions, any more setups, any more lake specific where you want to learn how to fish these techniques, or very specific on how you want to fish these or where you're going to fish these, please leave a comment. Please send a message. Please check out our Facebook page. I'll be more than happy to let you know and give you more advice if you need it. This is the whole point of this video. I want you guys to ask questions. I want to see you guys out there fishing, and I want to see pictures of you guys going out there and catching your fish. That's the whole point of this, because we grew up doing it, and I want to make sure you guys enjoy it too. Okay? Thank you.